The surgical blade slips from Dr. Maya Thornton's trembling fingers and clatters against the linoleum floor. Blood pools around her sneakers, not from a patient, but from her own shredded confidence. The attending surgeon doesn't even look up. "You're done here," he says, voice flat as a death certificate. She's 29 years old, 6 months into her residency at Pinehaven General in Austin, and she just broke the one rule nobody breaks. She operated without authorization. The patient, a 19-year-old college kid who crashed his motorcycle, will live. Maya won't, not professionally. Security escorts her through the ER while nurses whisper and avoid eye contact. Outside, the Texas heat slaps her face, but she can't feel it. She can't feel anything except the weight of the career she just lost. Then, 40 minutes later, the sky splits open with rotor noise so loud it rattles windows 3 blocks away. A Black Hawk military helicopter drops onto the hospital roof like a hawk claiming prey. Inside the building, the same attending who fired her goes pale. 2 officers in combat fatigue stride into his office without knocking. "We need Dr. Maya Thornton," one says, jaw tight. "Now." The attending stammers. She doesn't work here anymore." The officer's eyes go cold. "Then you just made the worst mistake of your career." If you want to see how far this story can go, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with your city. I want to know where this story reaches, and I promise what comes next will leave you speechless. Maya sits on the curb outside Pinehaven General, staring at her phone. 18 missed calls, 12 texts. Her mother, her best friend, her landlord asking if rent's coming this month. She deletes them all. The sun hangs low and mean over Austin, baking the pavement, making the air shimmer like a mirage. She doesn't cry. Crying would mean she accepts this. She doesn't. A Honda Civic pulls up. The window rolls down. It's Jenna, one of the ER nurses, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a habit of sneaking granola bars to overworked residents. "You okay?" Jenna asks, though the answer is obvious. Maya shrugs. "Define okay." "Get in. I'll buy you a drink." "I don't drink." "Then I'll buy you fries, and you can sit there while I drink." Maya almost smiles. Almost. She stands, brushes dirt off her scrubs, and climbs into the passenger seat. Jenna doesn't say anything for a few blocks, just drives. Finally, she speaks. "You saved that kid's life." "I broke protocol." "You saved his life," Jenna repeats, harder this time. Dr. Calloway would have waited for the attending. The kid would have bled out in 7 minutes. You knew that. So you cut. Maya stares out the window. "Doesn't matter. I'm fired." It matters to his mother. Not to the hospital board. Jenna pulls into a Whataburger parking lot and kills the engine. She turns in her seat, fixing Maya with a look that could melt steel. "You know what your problem is?" "Apparently, saving lives without permission." "Your problem," Jenna says, ignoring the sarcasm, "is that you think like a soldier, not a resident. You act first, apologize later. That works in a war zone. It doesn't work at Pinehaven." Maya's jaw tightens. "I was never a soldier." "Bullshit. I read your file. 3 years as a combat medic. Iraq and Afghanistan. Silver Star Commendation. You stitched up gunshot wounds in the back of moving Humvees. You kept men alive when they had no right to be breathing. Then you came home, went to med school, and thought playing by civilian rules would be easy." Jenna leans closer. "It's not, and it never will be." Maya doesn't respond. She can't. Because Jenna's right. She hasn't told anyone at Pinehaven about her service. She buried that part of herself the day she enrolled in medical school. She wanted to be normal. Just another doctor. Not the girl who learned anatomy by feeling for pulses in the dark while mortars screamed overhead. Jenna sighs. "Look, I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm saying you were right in a way that scares people. Calloway's been at Pinehaven for 12 years. He's careful, methodical, never lost a patient, because he never takes risks. You? You're the opposite. You'd rather be reckless and right than cautious and wrong." "So what do I do now?" "I don't know, but sitting in a Whataburger parking lot feeling sorry for yourself, isn't it?" They sit in silence. Then Jenna's phone buzzes. She glances at it and frowns. "Weird." "What?" "Group text from the hospital. Staff meeting in 20 minutes. Mandatory." I'm not staff anymore. Yeah, but Jenna hesitates, scrolling through the message. They're calling in everyone, even people off shift. That never happens unless a sound cuts through the air, low at first, then louder, a rhythmic thudding that rattles the car windows. Both women look up. A Black Hawk helicopter screams across the sky, low enough that Maya can see the markings on its belly. Military. It's heading straight for Pine Haven General. Jenna's eyes go wide. Oh, what the hell? Maya doesn't answer. Her heart kicks into a different gear, one she hasn't felt in years. That sound, that particular rotor signature. She knows it. She knows what it means. Something bad is happening. Something so bad that the military doesn't bother calling ahead. Jenna starts the car. We need to go back. I'm fired, remember? I don't care. Come on. They drive back in silence, but the air feels different now. Charged. Dangerous. When they pull into the hospital parking lot, it's chaos. Staff members are pouring out of the building, staring at the roof. The Black Hawk is still up there, rotors spinning, side door open. Two figures in combat fatigues jump out and disappear inside. Jenna parks crooked across two spaces and bolts toward the entrance. Maya follows, slower, unsure if she's even allowed back inside. But no one stops her. Security doesn't even glance her way. They're all staring at the elevators, waiting. Inside the ER is a storm of confusion. Nurses huddle in groups, whispering. Residents stand frozen, eyes on the doors leading to the administrative wing. Dr. Calloway, the attending who fired Maya less than 2 hours ago, stands near the nurses' station, face pale, hands gripping the counter like it's the only thing keeping him upright. Jenna grabs another nurse by the arm. What's going on? Military just landed, 2 officers. They walked straight into Calloway's office and demanded to see Dr. Thornton. Jenna's eyes snap to Maya. You. Maya's stomach drops. That's impossible. They asked for you by name. Before Maya can process that, the elevator doors ding open. 2 officers step out, both in fatigues, both with the kind of posture that says they've seen things most people only have nightmares about. The taller one, a woman with sharp features and captain's bars on her collar, scans the room. Her eyes land on Maya. She walks over, cutting through the crowd like a knife. Doctor, Maya Thornton? Maya nods, voice caught somewhere in her throat. The captain doesn't smile. I'm Captain Lisa Vargas, U.S. Navy. We need you to come with us. I don't work here anymore. We're not asking the hospital. We're asking you. Calloway steps forward, face red. Excuse me, Captain, but Dr. Thornton was dismissed from this facility for violating... Vargas cuts him off with a look that could freeze blood. I don't care. You can't just... I can, and I am. She turns back to Maya. A Navy pilot is in critical condition. Chest trauma. Internal bleeding. He needs immediate surgical intervention, and the field medics can't stabilize him. We have 15 minutes before he's unsavable. She pauses, letting that sink in. I was told you're the only doctor within 300 miles who can operate under these conditions. Maya's brain stalls. Who told you that? Commander Richard Hayes. He says you saved his life in Fallujah when he had a sucking chest wound and no pulse. He says if anyone can do this, it's you. The name hits Maya like a freight train. Hayes. She remembers him. Young lieutenant, 24 years old, scared out of his mind. She'd been 22, green as grass. But she'd kept him breathing long enough to get him to a field hospital. She didn't know he'd made it past that. Didn't know he remembered her name. Vargas's voice drops, urgent now. I need an answer, doctor. Yes or no? Maya looks around. At Calloway, whose face is a mixture of shock and rage. At Jenna, who's nodding so hard it looks like her head might fall off. At the other residents watching her like she's a bomb about to go off. She looks back at Vargas. What kind of trauma? Shrapnel, left lung collapsed, possible cardiac tamponade, no clean surgical suite, no backup. Equipment? Field kit, whatever's on the bird. Maya exhales slowly. This is insane. This is everything she was just fired for. Acting without authorization, taking risks no sane doctor would take. But the alternative is a man dying because no one else will step up. I'll do it. Vargas nods once. Let's move. They head for the elevator. Calloway's voice follows them. If you leave this building, Dr. Thornton, you will never practice medicine in this city again. Maya doesn't look back. Good thing I don't plan to stay in this city. The elevator ride to the roof is silent, except for the hum of machinery. Vargas stands beside her, arms crossed. You ready for this? No. Good. Only idiots go into situations like this feeling ready. The doors open. The rotor wash hits Maya like a physical force, whipping her hair into her face, stealing the breath from her lungs. She ducks instinctively and follows Vargas toward the helicopter. Inside, it's tight, cramped. Two other soldiers sit on the bench seats, both armed, both watching her with expressions that range from hope to skepticism. The pilot, a woman with a buzz cut and aviator sunglasses, glances back. We good? Vargas nods. Go. The Black Hawk lifts off and Austin drops away beneath them. Maya grips the seat, heart hammering. She hasn't been in a helicopter since her last deployment. The smell is the same, oil and metal and something faintly like burnt rubber. The sound is deafening. She wants to ask where they're going, but there's no point. She'll find out soon enough. Vargas leans close, shouting over the noise. Patient's name is Lieutenant Marco Delgado, 28 years old, wife and 2 kids. He was on a training exercise when an equipment malfunction caused an explosion. He's stable for now, but barely. You'll have maybe 10 minutes to work once we land. Where are we landing? Naval Air Station Corpus Christi. We've got a makeshift surgical bay set up in a hangar. It's not pretty, but it's all we've got. Maya nods. Her mind is already shifting gears, running through procedures, mapping out what she'll need. Chest tube, scalpel, suction. If there's tamponade, she'll need to drain the pericardium without nicking the heart. If the lungs collapsed, she'll need to reinflate it without causing a tension pneumothorax. And she'll need to do all of it fast, clean, and without a single mistake. The flight takes 35 minutes. Longest 35 minutes of Maya's life. She doesn't speak, doesn't move, just breathes and focuses. When the Black Hawk finally descends, she sees the hangar, a massive gray structure with floodlights blazing. They land hard, and Vargas is already moving, pulling Maya out before the rotors even stop spinning. Inside the hangar, a makeshift surgical area has been set up. Metal tables, portable lights, a field kit that looks like it was pulled from a war movie. And on the table, surrounded by medics, is Lieutenant Delgado. He's pale, too pale. His chest barely rises. Blood seeps through the gauze covering his torso. One of the medics, a young man with sweat dripping down his face, looks up as Maya approaches. You the surgeon? Yeah. Thank God, we've been holding pressure for 20 minutes. He's decompensating. Maya snaps into action. She pulls on gloves, grabs a scalpel, and leans over Delgado. His eyes are half open, unfocused. She checks his pulse. Weak. Thready. Not good. She listens to his chest. Left side. Nothing. Right side. Faint breath sounds. Collapsed lung confirmed. She checks his neck veins. Distended. Cardiac tamponade confirmed. I need a chest tube kit and a pericardiocentesis needle. Now. The medics scramble. Vargas stands at the edge of the surgical area, arms crossed, watching. Maya doesn't look at her. Doesn't think about the audience. She's done this before. Not in a clean hospital with monitors and backup, but in the back of a Humvee. In a bunker with the ceiling caving in places where hesitation meant death. She inserts the chest tube first. There's a hiss of air, and Delgado's breathing eases slightly. Good. One problem down. Now the hard part. She preps the pericardiocentesis needle, a long, thin instrument that looks more like a weapon than a medical tool. If she goes in wrong, she'll puncture his heart. If she doesn't go in at all, the pressure will stop his heart anyway. She steadies her hand, finds the angle, and pushes. Blood fills the syringe. Dark, thick, exactly what she expected. She draws it out slowly, carefully, watching Delgado's vitals. His heart rate stabilizes, his blood pressure ticks up. The medics exhale in relief. But Maya's not done. She needs to make sure there's no active bleeding. She needs to check for other injuries. She works for another 12 minutes, cleaning, suturing, stabilizing. When she finally steps back, Delgado's breathing is steady. His color is better. He's not out of the woods, but he's alive. Vargas steps forward. Is he going to make it? Maya strips off her gloves. If he gets to a real hospital in the next hour, yeah, he'll make it. Vargas nods. Then, to Maya's surprise, she extends a hand. You just saved a good man's life, doctor. Maya shakes it, too exhausted to feel anything. Just doing my job? No, you did more than that. Vargas pauses, then pulls out her phone. I'm sending this up the chain. By tomorrow morning, every news outlet in Texas is going to know what you did here. Maya's stomach twists. I don't want publicity. Tough, you're getting it. Vargas's smile is sharp. The hospital that fired you is about to learn a very painful lesson. Maya doesn't respond. She's too tired, too numb. She just wants to sit down. But there's no time. The medics are already loading Delgado onto a stretcher, prepping him for transport. Vargas gestures toward the Blackhawk. We'll fly you back to Austin. I'm not going back. Where are you going? Maya doesn't know. She honestly doesn't know. But she knows one thing. She's done playing by rules written by people who've never had to make a life or death call in under 60 seconds. Vargas seems to read her mind. Take the ride anyway. Figure it out on the way. Maya nods and follows her back to the helicopter. As they lift off, she looks down at the hangar, at the lights, at the people moving like ants below. She thinks about Callaway, about Pine Haven General, about the 19-year-old kid she saved and the career she lost. And she realizes something. She doesn't regret a single thing. Not the surgery, not the rule breaking, not even getting fired. Because at the end of the day, that kid's alive, Delgado's alive. And that's the only thing that matters. The flight back is quieter. Vargas sits across from her, scrolling through her phone. After a while, she looks up. You know, Hayes wasn't exaggerating. He said you were the best combat medic he'd ever seen. Said you had hands that didn't shake even when the world was falling apart. Maya shrugs. I just did what needed to be done. That's exactly why we came for you. Vargas leans forward. You want to know the truth? We called Pine Haven first, asked for their top trauma surgeon. They recommended Dr. Callaway. I looked him up. 12 years of experience, stellar record, 0 disciplinary actions, perfect on paper. She pauses. Then I called Hayes. He told me to forget Callaway and find you. He said you were the only one who'd actually do the job instead of worrying about liability. Maya doesn't respond. What is there to say? They land back at Pine Haven General just after midnight. The parking lot is still full. Reporters, cameras, people milling around like it's a carnival. Vargas curses under her breath. Word travels fast. Maya's heart sinks. How did they... Someone inside the hospital leaked it, probably trying to cover their own ass. Vargas opens the helicopter door. You don't have to talk to them. I'm not planning to. But as soon as Maya steps onto the roof, a swarm of reporters surges forward. Microphones, cameras, voices shouting questions all at once. Dr. Thornton, is it true you were fired hours before saving a Navy pilot? Did Pine Haven General refuse to let you operate? What do you have to say to Dr. Callaway? Maya freezes. This is a nightmare. This is everything she didn't want. But then she sees someone pushing through the crowd. Jenna, still in her scrubs, eyes fierce. She grabs Maya's arm and pulls her toward the elevator. Don't say a word. Not yet. They make it inside before the reporters can follow. The doors close. Maya leans against the wall, breathing hard. This is insane. This is justice, Jenna corrects. Callaway's about to get exactly what he deserves. The elevator dings open on the ground floor. The hospital lobby is packed. Staff, patients, family members, all watching the TVs mounted on the walls. And on every screen, the same headline. Fired doctor saves Navy pilot hours later. Hospital under investigation. Maya's legs go weak. Jenna catches her. Easy. Let's get you out of here. But before they can move, Callaway appears. His face is red, eyes wild. You, he hisses, pointing at Maya. You think you're a hero? You think this makes you untouchable? Maya straightens. She's exhausted. She's done. But she's not scared. Not anymore. I think I saved 2 lives today. What did you do? Callaway's mouth opens and closes like a fish. He has no answer. Because there is no answer. He steps closer. voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "You'll never work in medicine again." "I'll make sure of it." "Good luck with that," Jenna snaps, "because by tomorrow, you'll be the one answering to the board." Calloway glares at her, then storms off. Maya watches him go, feeling nothing, no anger, no satisfaction, just a strange, hollow emptiness. Jenna squeezes her shoulder. "Come on, let's get you home." They walk out through the back exit, avoiding the cameras. Jenna drives Maya to her apartment, a tiny one-bedroom in a complex that smells like fried food and regret. Maya unlocks the door and collapses onto the couch. Jenna sits beside her. "You okay?" Maya laughs, but it's a broken sound. "I don't know what I am." "You're a badass, that's what you are." "I'm unemployed." "Not for long." Jenna pulls out her phone and shows Maya the screen. It's flooded with messages, emails, job offers, interview requests, hospitals in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, all reaching out. "You're about to have your pick of the best positions in Texas." Maya stares at the screen, overwhelmed. "I don't want this." "What do you want?" "I want to do my job without people second-guessing me. I want to save lives without worrying about lawsuits. I want—" She trails off, unsure how to finish. Jenna waits, then, quietly, "You want to practice medicine the way you did in the field?" Maya nods. "Yeah, I guess I do." "Then maybe it's time to stop trying to fit into their world and start building your own." Maya looks at her friend, seeing something she hadn't noticed before. Respect. Real, earned respect. Not pity, not sympathy, just recognition of who she is and what she's capable of. Her phone buzzes. She glances at it. A text from an unknown number. "Dr. Thornton, this is Commander Hayes. I heard what happened. If you ever need anything, and I mean anything, you call me. You saved my life once. I owe you everything." Rick Maya's throat tightens. She types back a simple thank you and sets the phone down. Jenna stands. "Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be a long day." After Jenna leaves, Maya sits in the dark, listening to the city hum outside her window. She thinks about Delgado, about the kid on the motorcycle, about all the lives she's saved and all the rules she's broken. And she realizes something. She's not broken. She's not reckless. She's just unwilling to let people die when she knows she can save them. And maybe that's not a flaw. Maybe that's exactly what the world needs. Her phone buzzes again. Another text. This one from a number she doesn't recognize, but the message makes her blood run cold. "You made a powerful enemy today, Dr. Thornton. Be careful." A friend. Maya stares at the screen, heart pounding. She doesn't know who sent it, doesn't know what it means. But she knows one thing for certain. This isn't over, not by a long shot. Maya doesn't sleep. She lies on her back, staring at the ceiling, replaying that text message in her head. "You made a powerful enemy today." The words loop like a broken record. She checks the number again. Blocked. No name. No trace. Just a warning hanging in the digital void. At 4:47 a.m., her phone rings. She nearly drops it. The screen shows another unknown number, but this time there's a Houston area code. She answers. "Dr. Thornton?" A woman's voice, professional, clipped. "Who is this?" "Margaret Lindsay. I'm the chief of staff at Memorial Grace Hospital in Houston. I apologize for calling so early, but I wanted to reach you before anyone else did." Maya sits up, rubbing her face. "How did you get this number?" "I have connections. Listen, I saw what happened at Pine Haven. I also saw the footage of you working on Lieutenant Delgado. That was extraordinary surgical precision under impossible conditions." Lindsay doesn't pause for compliments. "I'm offering you a position, head of trauma surgery. Full autonomy. You build your own team, set your own protocols. Salaries triple what you were making as a resident." Maya's brain struggles to catch up. "You're offering me a job? Now? I was fired yesterday." "You were fired by a coward who doesn't understand that medicine isn't about following rules. It's about saving lives. We need doctors like you, people who act when others freeze." Lindsay's voice sharpens. "But I need an answer quickly. This offer expires in 72 hours. After that, the media circus around you will make you untouchable. Hospitals will be too scared of the liability." Maya's throat tightens. "I need time to think." "You have until Friday morning. Don't wait too long, Dr. Thornton. Opportunities like this don't come twice." The line goes dead. Maya sets the phone down, hands shaking. Head of trauma surgery. At 29. It's insane. It's impossible. It's exactly what she's always wanted and never thought she'd get. But something about the urgency in Lindsay's voice bothers her. Why the rush? Why the 72-hour deadline? She gets up, makes coffee, and opens her laptop. The screen floods with news articles. Fired doctor becomes hero, Pine Haven General under investigation. Dr. Maya Thornton, the surgeon. They couldn't silence. Her face is everywhere. Photos from her military days, screenshots from hospital security footage. A grainy image of her walking out of Pine Haven with her head down, looking defeated. She hates all of it. Then she sees a video. Someone filmed her on the roof last night, right before she got into the Blackhawk. The angle is bad, shot from a nearby building, but the audio is clear. A reporter shouting, "Dr. Thornton, why did you break protocol?" And Maya, over her shoulder, voice steady. Because protocol doesn't save lives. People do. The video has 6 million views. The comments are a war zone. Half the people call her a hero. The other half call her reckless, dangerous, a lawsuit waiting to happen. Maya closes the laptop. She can't read anymore. Can't think about any of it. Her phone buzzes again. This time it's Jenna. Turn on channel 9. Now. Maya grabs the remote and flips to the local news. A reporter stands outside Pine Haven General, microphone in hand, face grave. Breaking news this morning, Doctor. Leonard Calloway, the attending physician who terminated Dr. Maya Thornton yesterday, is now under formal review by the Texas Medical Board. Multiple complaints have been filed, alleging a pattern of prioritizing hospital liability over patient care. We're also hearing reports that Pine Haven's board of directors held an emergency meeting late last night. No official statement yet, but sources inside the hospital say Calloway's position is, quote, untenable. The camera cuts to a press conference. A man in a suit, Pine Haven's CEO, Daniel Harmon, stands at a podium, looking like he aged 10 years overnight. We are conducting a full internal review of the incident involving Dr. Thornton and the patient she treated. We take these matters seriously and are committed to ensuring that our protocols reflect the highest standard of care. A reporter shouts from the crowd, "Are you saying Dr. Thornton was right to operate?" Harmon's jaw tightens. "I'm saying we're reviewing the situation." Is Dr. Calloway still employed at Pine Haven? Dr. Calloway is on administrative leave pending the outcome of the review. Will you offer Dr. Thornton her job back? Harmon's face goes blank. No comment. The broadcast cuts back to the studio. Maya turns off the TV. Her hands are numb. Calloway's on leave. The hospital's scrambling. And she's sitting in her apartment, unemployed, watching her life get dissected on live television. Her phone rings again. This time it's a number she recognizes. Her mother. "Maya, sweetheart, I just saw the news. Are you okay?" "I'm fine, Mom. You don't sound fine." "I'm just tired." Her mother's voice softens. "You did the right thing. You know that, don't you?" Maya's throat burns. "I don't know anything anymore." "You saved that boy's life. You saved that pilot's life. That's all that matters." Her mother pauses. "Your father would be proud." Maya closes her eyes. Her father, Colonel Marcus Thornton, died in a training accident when she was 16. He was the reason she joined the military, the reason she became a medic, the reason she learned to keep moving even when everything inside her screamed to stop. "Thanks, Mom. When are you coming home?" "I don't know. I have some things to figure out first." "Well, don't wait too long. I miss you." "I miss you too." After they hang up, Maya sits in the quiet, trying to decide what to do next. Houston is a good offer, a great offer, but something feels wrong. She pulls up Memorial Grace Hospital on her laptop and starts digging. The hospital has a solid reputation. Lindsay's credentials are impressive. But then she finds something odd. A buried article from 3 years ago. A lawsuit. A patient died during surgery because the attending refused to deviate from protocol even when it was clear the patient needed immediate intervention. The case was settled quietly. No names released. But the article mentions that the attending was later promoted to chief of staff. Maya's stomach turns. She searches for more, finds another article, then another. Memorial Grace has a history of protecting doctors who follow the rules, even when those rules kill people. And Lindsay is the one who built that culture. She closes the laptop. There's no way she's taking that job. Not if it means becoming another Calloway, hiding behind protocol while patients die. Her phone buzzes. Another text. This one from Commander Hayes. Call me when you get a chance. Important. She dials his number. He picks up on the first ring. Maya, thanks for calling. What's going on? Have you been watching the news? Unfortunately. Then you know you're about to become a target. Hayes' voice is grim. Pinehaven's CEO is panicking. Calloway's threatening to sue the hospital for wrongful termination. And there are people in the medical community who think you're dangerous, that you'll inspire other residents to break protocol. So what do? You fight back. You tell your story. You don't let them control the narrative. Hayes pauses. There's a reporter, Sarah McKinney, works for the Austin Chronicle. She's tough, but she's fair. She reached out to me this morning asking for your contact. I didn't give it to her, but I think you should talk to her. I don't want to be in the spotlight. You already are. The question is whether you let other people define you or you define yourself. Maya chews her lip. He's right. She knows he's right. Okay. Give her my number. Done. She'll call you within the hour. Hayes hesitates. Maya, one more thing. Be careful. There are people who don't want this story to blow up. People with a lot to lose. If they come after you, don't try to handle it alone. Call me. I mean it. I will. She hangs up and waits. 32 minutes later, her phone rings. Sarah McKinney. The voice on the other end is sharp, fast. No nonsense. Dr. Thornton, thanks for agreeing to talk. I want to do a full feature on what happened at Pinehaven. Not just the surgery, everything. The culture, the fear, the way hospitals prioritize liability over lives. But I need you to go on record. I need your side of the story. When? Today. I can be at your place in an hour. Maya looks around her apartment. It's a mess. She's a mess. But waiting won't make it better. Okay, come over. Sarah McKinney shows up 53 minutes later. She's in her early 40s, short dark hair, sharp eyes that miss nothing. She sets up a recorder on the coffee table and doesn't waste time. Tell me what happened. From the beginning. Maya talks. She tells Sarah about the motorcycle accident, about the kid bleeding out, about Calloway refusing to act, about making the call to cut, about getting fired, about the Black Hawk, about Delgado. She doesn't hold back, doesn't soften the edges. When she's done, Sarah sits back, expression unreadable. You know they're going to come after you, Sarah says. Pinehaven, Calloway, the Texas Medical Board. They'll try to destroy your credibility. They'll say you're reckless, that you have a hero complex, that you're dangerous. I know. And you're okay with that? Maya meets her eyes. I'm not okay with anything, but I'm not going to lie or apologize for saving lives. Sarah nods slowly. Good, because the moment you start apologizing, you lose. She leans forward. I'm going to ask you something and I need you to be honest. Do you think Calloway wanted that kid to die? Maya blinks. What? No, of course not. Then why didn't he operate? Because he was scared. Scared of making a mistake. Scared of getting sued. Scared of breaking protocol. So he chose his career over a patient's life. Maya hesitates. She's never thought of it that way. But Sarah's right. That's exactly what Calloway did. Yeah, I guess he did. That's the story, Sarah says. That's what people need to understand. This isn't about one doctor being reckless. It's about a system that punishes people for doing the right thing. Sarah leaves an hour later, promising to have the article out by tomorrow morning. Maya closes the door and leans against it, exhausted. She doesn't know if she did the right thing, doesn't know if this will help or make everything worse. But at least she told the truth. That night, she gets a call from an unlisted number. She almost doesn't answer, but something makes her pick up. Dr. Thornton? A man's voice. Smooth. Controlled. Who is this? My name is Victor Langley. I'm an attorney representing Pinehaven General Hospital. I'm calling to offer you a settlement. Maya's blood goes cold. A settlement for what? For the termination of your employment. We're prepared to offer you $250,000 in exchange for your silence. You sign a non-disclosure agreement, and this all goes away. No lawsuits, no media. You move on with your life, and we move on with ours. Maya's grip tightens on the phone. You want to pay me to shut up. I want to offer you a fair resolution. And if I don't take it, Langley's voice hardens, then we'll be forced to defend ourselves. And that defense will include a full examination of your record, your time in the military, the incidents you were involved in, the decisions you made. I'm sure there are things you'd rather not have dragged into the public eye. It's a threat. A barely veiled, lawyer-polished threat. Maya feels rage rising in her chest. You don't know anything about me. I know enough. Langley's tone is almost bored. The offer stands until Friday at noon. After that, we go to war. Your choice. He hangs up. Maya stares at the phone, hands shaking. They're trying to buy her off. Trying to bury the story before it blows up. And if she refuses, they'll dig into her past, find every mistake, every moment of doubt, and use it to destroy her. She calls Hayes. He answers immediately. What's wrong? Pinehaven's lawyer just called. They offered me a settlement, $250,000 to sign an NDA and disappear. Hayes curses. Did you take it? No, but he threatened me. Said they'd go after my military record if I didn't. Let them try. Your record is spotless. Is it? Maya's voice cracks. I made calls in the field that got people killed, Rick. I triaged. I decided who lived and who didn't. If they dig deep enough, they'll find something to twist. Maya, listen to me. You did your job. You saved lives. You can't control what they'll try to use against you. But you can control whether you let them silence you. Hayes pauses. Don't take the money. Don't sign anything. Fight. Maya nods, even though he can't see her. Okay. Good. And Maya, I'm coming to Austin. I'll be there tomorrow morning. You're not doing this alone. She hangs up and sits in the dark, heart pounding. This is real now. This is a fight, and she has no idea if she's strong enough to win. The next morning, Sarah's article drops. It's on the front page of the Austin Chronicle's website, and within 2 hours, it's everywhere. The cost of caution. How one hospital chose liability over life. The piece is devastating. Sarah doesn't just tell Maya's story. She dissects Pinehaven's culture, interviews former staff members who describe a pattern of fear-based decision-making, and reveals that 3 patients died in the last year because doctors were too scared to act without authorization. Maya reads it on her phone, sitting in a coffee shop, and feels like she's watching a bomb go off in slow motion. By noon, Pinehaven's phone lines are jammed. The hospital's social media accounts are flooded with angry comments. Protesters gather outside the building, holding signs that read, "Patients over protocol," and "Fire Callaway." And then the Texas Medical Board releases a statement. We are launching a formal investigation into practices at Pinehaven General Hospital. Dr. Leonard Callaway has been placed on probationary status pending the outcome of this review. Maya's phone explodes. Calls, texts, emails, job offers from hospitals across the country, interview requests from national news outlets, a literary agent asking if she's interested in writing a book. It's overwhelming. It's suffocating. She turns off her phone and just sits there, staring at the table. Hayes shows up at her apartment that afternoon. He's in civilian clothes, jeans, and a navy sweatshirt, but he still carries himself like a soldier. He hugs her, and Maya realizes she's been holding her breath for days. You okay? He asks. I don't know. Fair answer. He sits across from her. I read the article. It's good, really good. You're not just a story anymore, Maya. You're a movement. I don't want to be a movement. I just want to be a doctor. Then be a doctor. But be the kind of doctor who changes things. Before Maya can respond, there's a knock at the door. She opens it to find Jenna, along with 2 other people, a man and a woman, both in their 30s, both wearing hospital scrubs. Maya doesn't recognize them. Jenna grins. Maya, these are Dr. Felix Grant and Dr. Alicia Voss. They both work at Pinehaven. Or, well, they did. They quit this morning. Felix steps forward, hand extended. Dr. Thornton, we've been watching what's happening. We've been working under Calloway for 3 years, and everything in that article is true. We're done being silent. We want to help. Alicia nods. If you're building something new, something better, we want in. Maya stares at them, speechless. She's never met these people, doesn't know their stories or their skills, but they're here. They're willing to risk everything because they believe in what she did. Hayes smiles. Told you. Movement. That night, Maya sits with the four of them, Hayes, Jenna, Felix, and Alicia, around her tiny kitchen table, eating takeout and talking about what comes next. Felix is a cardiologist, careful and methodical. Alicia is an emergency physician, quick and decisive. Together, they represent everything Maya needs if she's going to do this right. We need a hospital, Felix says, somewhere that'll let us operate without 1,000 administrators breathing down our necks. We need funding, Alicia adds, and legal protection. The moment we start, Pinehaven will come after us. We need a name, Jenna says, grinning, something that tells people exactly what we're about. Maya looks around the table, at these people who barely know her but are willing to bet their careers on her vision. And for the first time in days, she feels something other than fear. She feels hope. We call it frontline medical, she says quietly, because that's what we are, frontline doctors who don't wait for permission to save lives. The room goes silent. Then Hayes raises his beer. To frontline medical. They all clink glasses, and Maya lets herself believe just for a moment that this might actually work. But the next morning, everything changes. Maya wakes to her phone ringing nonstop. She answers. It's Sarah McKinney, and her voice is urgent. Maya, you need to see this. Pinehaven just held a press conference. Calloway's fighting back. Maya's stomach drops. What did he say? He's claiming you assaulted him, that you threatened him after you were fired. He's filing a restraining order and a civil suit for defamation and emotional distress. Sarah's voice is tight. He's also releasing medical records, patient records, trying to prove that your surgical decisions were unsafe. Maya can't breathe. He can't do that. Those records are protected. He got a judge to sign off on it, says it's in the public interest. Sarah pauses. Maya, this is bad. He's not just coming after your career, he's coming after your freedom. The line goes dead. Maya stands frozen, phone in hand, as the world tilts sideways. And then her apartment door slams open. 2 police officers step inside, badges out, faces grim. Dr. Maya Thornton, you're under arrest. Maya's wrists go numb as the handcuffs click shut. The metal bites into her skin, cold and final. One officer, a woman in her 40s with tired eyes, reads her rights in a monotone voice that sounds like it's been repeated 1,000 times. Maya hears the words but doesn't process them. Her brain is stuck on one thought. This can't be happening. Wait, Hayes says, stepping forward. What's the charge? The male officer, younger, built like he spends his mornings at the gym, doesn't look at him. Assault and battery, criminal threatening. She needs to come with us. That's bullshit and you know it. Sir, step back or you'll be arrested for obstruction. Hayes' jaw clenches, but he moves. His eyes lock on Maya's. Don't say anything, not a word. I'm calling a lawyer right now. Maya nods, mute. The officers guide her toward the door. Jenna is standing in the hallway, face white, phone already out. I'm calling everyone I know, she says, voice shaking. Don't worry, Maya. We'll fix this. But Maya can't respond, can't think. The hallway tilts and blurs as they walk her down 3 flights of stairs because the elevator is too slow. Outside, a small crowd is gathered. Neighbors, reporters who somehow got tipped off. Cameras flash, questions fly. Dr. Thornton, did you assault Dr. Calloway? Are you guilty? Do you have a statement? The officers push her into the back of a patrol car. The door slams. The world outside becomes muffled, distant, like she's underwater. The driver pulls away from the curb, and Maya watches her apartment building shrink in the rearview mirror. She thinks about her father, about what he'd say if he could see her now. Probably something about staying calm, about fighting smart, not hard. But he's not here, and she's alone. The ride to the precinct takes 11 minutes. They book her in a fluorescent-lit room that smells like disinfectant and stale coffee. Fingerprints. Mugshot. Personal belongings confiscated. They give her a gray jumpsuit that's 2 sizes too big and led her to a holding cell. The door clangs shut and Maya sits on the bench staring at the cinder block wall. Hours pass. No one comes. No phone call. No lawyer. Just silence and the occasional clang of another cell door somewhere down the corridor. Maya's mind races. Calloway filed assault charges. That means he has evidence, or at least a convincing lie. But when did she supposedly assault him? Yesterday, when he fired her. She didn't touch him, didn't even raise her voice. So what is he claiming? Finally, a guard appears. You got a visitor, lawyer. They take her to a cramped room with a metal table and 2 chairs. A man is already seated, late 50s, silver hair, expensive suit that doesn't match the grim surroundings. He stands when Maya enters, extends a hand. Dr. Thornton, I'm Graham Pierce. Commander Hayes retained me on your behalf. Maya shakes his hand, still numb. What's happening? Pierce sits, opens a briefcase, and pulls out a folder. Dr. Leonard Calloway filed a complaint yesterday evening, claiming that after you were terminated, you returned to the hospital and physically confronted him in his office. According to his statement, you shoved him against a wall, threatened his career, and made comments that he interpreted as a threat to his physical safety. Maya's mouth falls open. That's a lie. I never went back to his office. I left the hospital and didn't return until the military picked me up hours later. I believe you. But Calloway has a witness, a nurse named Patricia Holloway. She claims she saw you in the corridor outside his office around 6 p.m., visibly agitated, and heard raised voices. That's impossible. I was at a Whataburger with Jenna at 6 p.m. She can confirm it. Pierce nods, making notes. Good. We'll need her statement. But there's more. Calloway's legal team also petitioned to release selected patient medical records, arguing that your surgical decisions demonstrate a pattern of reckless behavior. A judge signed off on it this morning. Maya feels bile rise in her throat. He's trying to destroy me. He's trying to bury the story about Pine Haven. You've become a liability, not just to him, but to the entire hospital system. If you're discredited, the narrative shifts. You're no longer a hero. You're a dangerous doctor who got what she deserved. Pierce leans forward. Here's the reality. Calloway has resources. He has the hospital's legal team backing him. And he has public opinion starting to turn. There are already op-eds questioning whether you're a savior or a liability. So what do? We fight, but we need evidence. Security footage, witness statements, anything that proves you weren't at the hospital when he claims you were. Pierce pauses. There's something else. The bail hearing is set for tomorrow morning. The DA is pushing for high bail, arguing you're a flight risk. I'm not going anywhere. They don't care. They want you locked up until trial. It sends a message. Pierce closes his folder. I'll do everything I can, but you need to prepare for the possibility that you'll be in here for a while. After he leaves, Maya is taken back to the holding cell. She sits on the bench and stares at her hands. They're steady. She's surprised by that. She thought they'd shake, thought she'd fall apart, but she doesn't. Maybe it's the military training. Maybe it's shock. Or maybe she's just too angry to break. The bail hearing happens at 9 a.m. the next morning in a courtroom that's too bright and too cold. Maya sits beside Pierce, wearing the same gray jumpsuit, hands folded on the table. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s named Judge Adler, reads through the charges without expression. The DA, a sharp-faced man named Reeves, stands and argues that Maya is dangerous, unpredictable, and likely to flee given the severity of the charges and the media attention. Pierce counters, pointing out that Maya has no criminal record, strong ties to the community, and a spotless military service record. Your Honor, Dr. Thornton is not a flight risk. She's a decorated veteran who saved lives both in combat and as a civilian. The charges against her are fabricated, and we have evidence to prove it. Judge Adler listens, then sets bail at $50,000. Maya's stomach sinks. She doesn't have that kind of money. But before she can process it, a voice calls out from the back of the courtroom. I'll post it. Everyone turns. Commander Hayes stands near the door, still in civilian clothes, arms crossed. Judge Adler raises an eyebrow. And you are? Commander Richard Hayes, U.S. Navy. Doctor, Thornton saved my life. I'll post her bail. The judge nods. Very well. Bail is set. Dr. Thornton, you're released on the condition that you surrender your passport and remain within Travis County until trial. It takes another 2 hours to process the paperwork. When Maya finally walks out of the courthouse, Hayes is waiting. So is Jenna, and Felix, and Alicia, and Sarah McKinney, camera crew in tow. The reporters surge forward, but Hayes steps in front of Maya, blocking them. "No questions," he says, voice hard. "Not today." They get Maya into Hayes' rental car and drive away. No one speaks for the first few minutes. Then Jenna, sitting in the back seat beside Maya, puts a hand on her shoulder. "We got you out. That's what matters." Maya nods, throat too tight to speak. Back at her apartment, they gather in the living room. Felix has brought his laptop and a portable printer. Alicia has a notepad covered in scribbled notes. Sarah sits in the corner, recording everything. Hayes stands near the window, keeping watch like he's still on deployment. "Okay," Felix says, opening his laptop. "We need to dismantle Calloway's story piece by piece. Jenna, you were with Maya at 6 p.m. Can you provide a receipt or any proof?" Jenna pulls out her phone, scrolling. "I paid with my card. I can get the transaction record." "Good. That puts Maya at Whataburger when Calloway claims she was at the hospital." Felix types rapidly. "Next, we need to check security footage. Pinehaven has cameras in every hallway. If Maya wasn't there, the footage will prove it." "They'll never release it," Alicia says. "Not voluntarily." "Then we subpoena it," Pierce says, entering the apartment with a briefcase in hand. "I filed the motion this morning. We'll have a ruling by tomorrow." Sarah leans forward. "What about the witness, this Patricia Holloway? Who is she?" Jenna's face hardens. "She's Calloway's lead nurse, been with him for 8 years. She'd lie under oath if he asked her to." "Then we need to discredit her," Pierce says. "Find inconsistencies in her statement. Prove she has a motive to lie." The conversation continues for another hour, everyone throwing out ideas, building a strategy. Maya sits quietly, listening, feeling like a spectator in her own life. Finally, she speaks. "What if we're playing this wrong?" Everyone stops. Hayes turns from the window. "What do you mean?" "Calloway's trying to make this about me, about whether I'm reckless or dangerous. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is Pinehaven's culture, the fear, the way they punish doctors for saving lives." Maya stands, pacing. "We don't just defend me, we put them on trial." Sarah's eyes light up. "You want to go public?" "I want to tell the truth. All of it. Every patient who died because a doctor was too scared to act. Every lawsuit Pinehaven settled to keep things quiet. Every time they chose money over lives." Maya looks at Pierce. "Can we do that?" Pierce hesitates. "It's risky. You'll be opening yourself up to more scrutiny, more attacks." "I'm already being attacked. At least this way I'm swinging back." Sarah grins. "I'm in. I'll start digging. But Maya, if we do this, it's scorched earth. There's no going back." "Good," Maya says. "I don't want to go back." Over the next 3 days, they work around the clock. Sarah interviews former Pinehaven staff members, pulls public records, digs through old lawsuits. Felix and Alicia compile medical data, showing patterns of delayed treatment and conservative decision-making that led to preventable deaths. Jenna tracks down the families of patients who died under Pinehaven's care, convincing them to speak on the record. Maya barely sleeps. She spends hours on the phone, talking to doctors across the country who've faced similar situations. Fired for acting too fast, punished for breaking protocol, silenced by legal threats. Each conversation reinforces what she already knows. This isn't just about her. It's about a broken system that values compliance over competence. On the 4th day, the security footage arrives. Pierce gets the subpoena approved, and Pinehaven is forced to hand over the recordings. Maya, Hayes, and Pierce watch it together in Pierce's office. The timestamp reads 6 p.m., the exact time Calloway claims Maya confronted him. The hallway outside his office is empty. No Maya, no anyone, just an empty corridor. At 6:07, a figure appears. It's a woman, but the angle is wrong, the lighting poor. She's wearing scrubs, hair pulled back. She stops outside Calloway's office, seems to hesitate, then walks away. The timestamp shows her in frame for less than 10 seconds. Pierce rewinds, plays it again. "That's not you." "No," Maya says. "It's not." "Then who is it?" Maya leans closer, studying the screen. The woman's build is wrong. Taller, broader shoulders, And the way she moves, deliberate, purposeful, not agitated. I don't know. But whoever it is, Calloway's using her to frame me. Pierce makes copies of the footage and files a motion to dismiss the charges. But the DA refuses. Instead, they argue that the footage is inconclusive, that the figure could be anyone, and that Patricia Holloway's testimony is still valid. The case moves forward. That night, Sarah's next article drops. The System That Kills Inside Pine Haven. General's Culture of Fear. It's 1,000 times more damaging than the first. She names names, details cases, includes interviews with grieving family members who describe watching their loved ones die while doctors stood by, waiting for authorization that came too late. The response is immediate. Protests outside Pine Haven triple in size. The Texas Medical Board announces a full investigation into the hospital's practices. 3 board members resign. And Dr. Leonard Calloway, facing mounting pressure, holds another press conference. Maya watches it on her laptop, sitting on her couch, Hayes beside her. Calloway stands at a podium, looking thinner, older, like the weight of the past week has carved years into his face. I want to address the recent allegations, he says, voice tight. Dr. Thornton's actions were not heroic. They were reckless. She endangered a patient's life by operating without proper authorization, without consultation, and without regard for established medical protocols. A reporter shouts, "But the patient survived. Doesn't that prove she made the right call?" Calloway's jaw tightens. The ends do not justify the means. Medicine is not about cowboy heroics. It's about systematic, careful decision-making. Dr. Thornton violated that. And her subsequent behavior, threatening me, attempting to intimidate staff, demonstrates a dangerous instability. Another reporter. What about the security footage showing she wasn't at the hospital when you claim she was? Calloway doesn't flinch. I stand by my statement. I know what I experienced. The press conference ends abruptly. Calloway walks off without taking more questions. Maya closes the laptop. He's lying, and he knows we can prove it. Then why keep lying, Hayes asks. Because if he admits the truth, he loses everything. His career, his reputation, his freedom. Maya stands pacing. He's betting that the system will protect him, that the hospital will back him up, that a jury will believe a respected attending over a fired resident. And if he's right? Maya doesn't answer. She doesn't have one. The trial date is set for 6 weeks out. In the meantime, Maya's life becomes a bizarre combination of house arrest and media circus. She can't leave Travis County, can't practice medicine, can't do anything except wait and prepare. Reporters camp outside her apartment. Strangers send her messages, some supportive, some threatening. One envelope contains a single word written in red ink: murderer. Jenna moves into Maya's apartment, refusing to let her be alone. Hayes stays in Austin, taking leave from his duties. Felix and Alicia keep digging, building the case. And Sarah keeps writing, each article more explosive than the last. Then, 2 weeks before trial, something breaks. Felix calls Maya at 11 p.m., voice breathless. I found something. Patricia Holloway, the nurse who claims she saw you. She's been receiving payments, regular deposits into her account, $5,000 a month for the past 3 months. Maya's heart pounds. From who? A shell company, but I traced it back. It's funded by Pine Haven's Legal Defense Fund. Maya feels the floor drop out from under her. They're paying her to lie. Looks like it. I'm sending everything to Pierce. This changes the whole case. Pierce files an emergency motion the next morning, presenting the financial records as evidence of witness tampering. The judge schedules a hearing. But before it happens, Patricia Holloway disappears. She doesn't show up for work, doesn't answer her phone. Her apartment is empty. Neighbors saying they saw her leave in the middle of the night with 2 suitcases. The DA argues that Holloway's absence doesn't invalidate her prior statement. Pierce argues that it proves she was lying. Judge Adler postpones the trial, orders an investigation into the payments. And for the first time, Maya feels like maybe, just maybe, the truth is starting to break through. But then Pine Haven strikes back. Hard. The hospital releases a statement claiming that Maya's military record includes incidents of insubordination and unauthorized medical procedures during her service. They don't provide details, just vague accusations designed to plant doubt. The story spreads fast. Within hours, the narrative shifts again. Hero or vigilante? Dr. Thornton's troubled military past. Maya reads the headlines and feels something inside her snap. She calls a press conference. Pierce advises against it. Hayes warns her it's too risky. But she doesn't care anymore. She's done being defensive, done letting other people control the story. The press conference happens on the steps of the Travis County Courthouse. 50 reporters show up. Cameras from every major network. Maya stands at a microphone wearing a simple black suit, hair pulled back, no makeup. She looks directly into the cameras. My name is Dr. Maya Thornton. For the past 3 weeks, I've been accused of assault, of recklessness, of being unstable and dangerous. I've been arrested, dragged through the media, and had my entire life dissected by people who've never met me. So let me set the record straight. She pauses, letting the silence settle. I saved a 19-year-old kid's life. I did it because he was dying and I had the skills to stop it. I broke protocol. I acted without authorization, and I'd do it again. Because that's what doctors are supposed to do. Save lives. Not protect institutions, not avoid lawsuits. Save lives. A reporter shouts a question, but Maya talks over him. Pine Haven General fired me for that. Then they tried to silence me. When that didn't work, they tried to destroy me. They fabricated assault charges. They paid a witness to lie. And when we proved that, they tried to smear my military service. Her voice hardens. But here's what they can't erase. I served 3 tours. I saved 37 soldiers under fire. I came home, went to medical school, and became a doctor because I believe in helping people. And no hospital, no lawyer, no corrupt system is going to stop me from doing that. She steps back from the microphone. The questions explode, dozens of voices shouting at once. But Maya doesn't answer. She walks down the steps, Hayes and Pierce flanking her, and gets into a waiting car. As they drive away, she sees the crowd of protesters outside Pine Haven, larger than ever, chanting her name. That night, the story goes national. Every major outlet picks it up. Social media explodes. #Justice for Maya trends worldwide. Donations pour into a legal defense fund that someone set up without her knowledge. Within 24 hours, it hits $500,000. And then the phone call comes. It's from Margaret Lindsay, the chief of staff at Memorial Grace Hospital in Houston. Maya almost doesn't answer, remembering the strange urgency in Lindsay's voice weeks ago. But something makes her pick up. Dr. Thornton, I owe you an apology, Lindsay says, voice quiet. When I offered you that job, I had an ulterior motive. I wanted to hire you before the story blew up, thinking I could control the narrative. Use you to boost our hospital's reputation. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Maya doesn't respond. Doesn't know what to say. Lindsay continues. But I'm calling now because I want to make a different offer. Not for you to work here. For me to help you. I have connections, resources. And I've seen what Pine Haven is doing to you. It's unconscionable. She pauses. If you'll let me, I want to testify on your behalf. I want to tell the court what I know about hospital cultures that punish good doctors. I want to help you win. Maya's throat tightens. Why? Because you're right, and because I'm tired of being part of the problem. 2 days later, the Texas Medical Board releases its preliminary findings. Pine Haven General is cited for multiple violations of patient care standards. Dr. Leonard Calloway is formally reprimanded and placed on indefinite suspension. The hospital's CEO, Daniel Harmon, announces his resignation. And the DA, facing mounting public pressure, drops the assault charges against Maya. Pierce calls her with the news. Maya listens, numb, as he explains that without Patricia Holloway's testimony and with the financial evidence of witness tampering, the case collapsed. She's free. The charges are dismissed. It's over. But it doesn't feel over. It feels like standing in the eye of a hurricane, knowing the other side is still coming. That night, Maya sits in her apartment with Hayes, Jenna, Felix, Alicia, and Sarah. They order pizza, open beer, and try to celebrate. But the mood is strange, relief mixed with exhaustion and something that feels like shell shock. So what now? Jenna asks. You're cleared. You can go back to medicine. Maya shakes her head. I can't go back. Not to a hospital like Pine Haven. Not to a system that hasn't changed. Then what? Felix asks. Maya looks around the room. At these people who stood by her when everyone else walked away. At the half-formed dream they talked about weeks ago, Frontline Medical, a place where doctors could act without fear, where protocols served patients, not institutions. We build it, she says, for real this time. We find funding, we find a facility, and we create something different. Alicia grins. You're serious? Yeah, I am. Hayes raises his beer. Then let's do it. But before anyone can toast, Maya's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. She opens it, and her blood runs cold. It's a photo, taken from across the street through her apartment window. The angle shows all of them sitting in the living room. The timestamp reads 3 minutes ago. Below the photo, a message. You won. Congratulations. But this isn't over. You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you, starting with them. Maya's hands shake. She shows the phone to Hayes. His face goes pale, then hard. He stands, moves to the window, looks out. We need to leave. Now. What's going on? Jenna asks. Before Hayes can answer, the apartment lights cut out. Complete darkness. Someone screams. And then, from somewhere in the building, the sound of shattering glass. Hayes moves fast. He grabs Maya's arm, pulls her away from the window. Everyone down! Now! They hit the floor. Jenna's breathing comes in short gasps. Felix swears under his breath. Alicia crawls toward the kitchen, phone out, dialing 911. The darkness is total. No streetlights bleeding through the windows, no glow from neighboring apartments. Someone cut the power to the entire block. Another crash. Closer this time. Ground floor, maybe the lobby. Hayes moves to the door, presses his ear against it. Stay quiet, he whispers. Don't move. Maya's heart hammers against her ribs. She thinks about the photo. Someone was watching them. Someone close enough to see through the window, to time this perfectly. Calloway. It has to be Calloway, but the man she saw at press conferences, the one who looked defeated and desperate. Could he do this? Could he cross this line? Footsteps in the hallway. Heavy. Deliberate. They stop outside Maya's door, the handle jiggles, locked. Then silence. Maya counts the seconds, 10, 20, 30. The footsteps move away, heading toward the stairwell. Hayes exhales slowly. We need to leave. Right now. The police are on the way, Alicia whispers from the kitchen. They said 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes. Hayes pulls out his phone, uses the dim screen light to scan the room. Back exit. Fire escape. Let's go. They move in the dark, single file, hands on each other's shoulders. Maya leads them to the bedroom window. It's old, painted shut, but Hayes forces it open with a hard shove. Cold air rushes in. The fire escape is rusted, rattles when Hayes steps onto it. One at a time, slow. Jenna goes first, then Alicia, then Felix. Sarah hesitates. My camera equipment. Leave it, Hayes says. Move. Sarah climbs out. Maya follows. Hayes comes last, pulling the window shut behind them. They descend 3 floors in near silence, feet clanging softly on metal. At the bottom, they drop into an alley that smells like garbage and stale beer. Sirens wail in the distance, getting closer. Hayes doesn't stop. He leads them to his rental car parked 2 blocks away, herds everyone inside. Where are we going? Felix asks. Somewhere public, somewhere with cameras and witnesses. Hayes starts the engine, pulls into traffic. A hotel, downtown. They drive in silence. Maya stares out the window, watching Austin blur past. Her hands won't stop shaking. She presses them against her thighs, willing them to be still. It doesn't work. Jenna reaches over, squeezes her shoulder. You okay? Maya nods, but it's a lie. She's not okay. She's terrified. Whoever sent that text knows where she lives, knows her friends, and just proved they're willing to escalate. This isn't about reputation anymore. It's about survival. Hayes pulls into the parking garage of a Hilton near the Capitol building. They take the elevator to the lobby, and Hayes pays cash for 2 adjoining rooms on the 4th floor. Once inside, he locks the doors, checks the windows, pulls the curtains. We stay here tonight. Tomorrow we figure out next steps. Sarah collapses onto the bed. This is insane. Who does this? Who breaks into someone's building in the middle of the night? Someone who has everything to lose, Maya says quietly. She pulls out her phone, shows them the text again. Calloway. It has to be. Or someone working for him, Felix says. He's suspended, disgraced, but he still has allies, people who benefited from the old system at Pinehaven, people who want you gone. Alicia looks at Hayes. Can you trace the number? Already tried. Burner phone. Dead end. Hayes sits on the edge of the bed, rubbing his face. But the photo. That was taken from street level. Someone was physically there. We need to find out who. Maya's phone buzzes. Another text. Same unknown number. Her stomach turns. She opens it. You think running helps? I know where you are. I know who you're with. And I know exactly how to make you suffer. Attached is another photo. This one shows the front of the Hilton, taken from across the street, less than 10 minutes ago. Maya's breath catches. Hayes sees her face, takes the phone, reads the message. His jaw tightens. We're leaving, now. Where? Jenna asks, voice rising. He's following us. He knows where we go. Then we stop running. Hayes stands, moves to the window, looks out. We set a trap. Felix frowns. What kind of trap? The kind where we control the environment, draw him out. Get him on camera doing something he can't explain away. Hayes turns back to the group. Maya, call Pierce, tell him what's happening. We need the police involved, but we need them to do this right. No half measures. Maya makes the call. Pierce answers on the second ring, listens, curses. Stay where you are. I'm contacting APD. They'll send a unit to your location. Do not engage with whoever's sending these messages. Do not go anywhere alone. We can't just hide, Maya says. This person is escalating. Next time they might not just break windows. I know, but we need evidence. Something that proves Calloway, or whoever's behind this, is actively threatening you. Right now it's just texts. Anonymous texts. A good lawyer could argue it's a prank. We need more. Maya hangs up, relays the message. Hayes nods. Then we give them more. He pulls out his laptop, opens a program Maya doesn't recognize. I'm going to respond to the text. Make it look like you're scared, like you're willing to negotiate. Negotiate what? Whatever they want. We get them talking, get them to reveal themselves. Hayes starts typing. Trust me, this works. He sends the message from Maya's phone. What do you want from me? They wait. 1 minute, 2. Then the response comes. I want you to disappear, leave Texas, stop talking to the press, stop trying to destroy what I built. Hayes types back, if I leave, will you stop? The reply is instant. Maybe. But you'll never practice medicine again. I'll make sure of that. Hayes keeps going. How do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. But you don't have a choice. Hayes sets the phone down. Whoever this is, they're not thinking clearly. They're emotional, angry. That makes them sloppy. Or dangerous, Alicia says. Both. Hayes looks at Maya. We need to draw them out. Get them to meet you somewhere public. Somewhere we can record everything. Maya shakes her head. That's insane. It's the only way. We set the meeting. I'll be there, armed. So will the police. You'll be wired. We get a confession on tape. And this ends. Jenna grabs Maya's arm. No, absolutely not. This is too risky. Everything's risky now, Maya says, surprising herself. I'm done hiding. If this is the only way to end it, then let's do it. Hayes nods. Okay. I'll coordinate with Pierce and APD. We do this tomorrow. Daylight, public location, full surveillance. They spend the rest of the night planning. Hayes maps out locations, parks, coffee shops, places with open sightlines and multiple exits. Pierce arrives at 2 a.m. with a police detective named Rita Vance, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. She listens to the plan, then pulls out a small recording device. This goes under your shirt, Vance says, handing it to Maya. It's sensitive, picks up everything within 15 feet. You get this person talking, we'll have it all on tape. Maya takes the device, feels its weight. What if they don't show? Then we wait, try again. But my gut says they'll show. People like this, they want confrontation. They want to see you scared. Vance's expression hardens. Don't give them that satisfaction. The meeting is set for noon the next day at Zilker Park. A public space, lots of foot traffic, Easy for undercover officers to blend in. Hayes sends the message from Maya's phone. I'll meet you, noon, Zilker Park, East Entrance. Come alone. The response takes 3 minutes. If you bring anyone, the deal's off. Come alone or people you care about will pay. Hayes reads it aloud. Vance nods. Classic intimidation. We proceed as planned. Maya goes in alone, or appears to. We'll have 6 officers in civilian clothes positioned around the area. Anything goes wrong, we move. Morning comes too fast. Maya barely sleeps. She showers, dresses in jeans and a plain shirt, tries to eat but can't. Jenna makes coffee, presses a cup into her hands. You don't have to do this. Yeah, I do. At 11 a.m., they drive to Zilker Park. The day is bright, warm, Texas sun beating down on the grass. Families spread out on blankets, kids play frisbee, dogs chase balls. It looks so normal, so safe. But Maya knows better. She scans the crowd, looking for anyone who doesn't fit, anyone watching too closely. Vance approaches, dressed in jogging clothes, earbuds in. You ready? Maya nods. Vance clips the recording device under Maya's shirt, tests the audio. We're live. Remember, get them talking. Get them to admit what they've done. Don't confront. Don't argue. Just listen and respond. Hayes appears, also in civilian clothes, shorts and a faded Marines t-shirt. He looks like any other guy out for a walk, but Maya sees the tension in his shoulders, the way his eyes constantly move. I'll be 30 feet behind you. You feel unsafe? You say the word red. That's the signal. We move immediately. Maya takes a breath. Okay. She walks toward the east entrance alone. Her legs feel like they're made of lead. Every step is an effort. She reaches a bench near a cluster of oak trees and sits. Checks her watch. 11:58. 2 minutes. She scans the area. Families, joggers, a man reading a newspaper, a woman walking a dog. No one looks threatening. No one looks out of place. Then she sees him. Dr. Leonard Calloway. Walking across the grass, hands in his pockets, face hidden behind sunglasses. He's thinner than she remembers, shoulders hunched. He looks like a man who hasn't slept in weeks. He sits on the bench beside her, doesn't look at her, just stares straight ahead. You came, he says, voice flat. Maya's heart pounds. You didn't give me much choice. I didn't think you'd actually show. Thought you'd bring the police, bring your little army. I'm alone. The lie comes easily. You said people I care about would pay if I didn't. Calloway laughs, but it's a broken sound. You ruined me, you know that? Everything I built, 30 years of service, gone. Because of you. Maya keeps her voice steady. I didn't ruin you. You did that yourself. No. He turns to face her now, and she sees the rage in his eyes. You broke the rules. You made me look weak. You turned the whole world against me. And for what? For one patient? One kid who probably would have survived anyway? He wouldn't have. You know that. I don't know anything anymore. Calloway's hands shake. He pulls them out of his pockets, clenches them into fists. I followed protocol. I did everything right. And now I'm the villain. Now I'm the one who gets death threats, who can't show my face in public, who lost my job, my reputation, everything. Maya sees her opening. So you decided to threaten me? To break into my building? To stalk me? Calloway goes still. I don't know what you're talking about. The texts, the photos. Someone's been following me, threatening my friends. Was that you? He stands abruptly. I didn't send you anything. Then who did? How should I know? You made a lot of enemies, Dr. Thornton. People who think you're dangerous, people who want you gone. He backs away, eyes wild. But it wasn't me. I came here to tell you to leave me alone, to stop the press, to let me disappear, that's all. Maya stands too. If it wasn't you, then who? Calloway shakes his head. I don't know. But maybe you should ask your new friends, the ones who've been using you to push their own agenda. Before Maya can respond, a voice calls out from behind her. Step away from her, Calloway. Hayes. He's moving closer, hand inside his jacket. Calloway's face goes white. You said you'd come alone, and you said you'd stop threatening me. Guess we're both liars. Calloway turns to run, but Vance is already there, blocking his path. 2 more officers close in from the sides. Calloway spins, trapped, eyes darting. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to talk. Vance pulls out her badge. Dr. Leonard Calloway, we need you to come with us for questioning. For what? Talking? That's not a crime. Witness intimidation, harassment, stalking. We can start with those, while Vance gestures to the other officers. Take him. They cuff Calloway and lead him away. He doesn't resist, just walks, head down, like a man who's already given up. Maya watches him go, feeling hollow. She thought this would bring closure, but all she feels is empty. Hayes approaches. You okay? I don't think it was him. What? The texts, the break-in. He seemed genuinely confused when I asked about it. Maya pulls off the recording device, hands it to Vance. We got him admitting to meeting me, but nothing about the threats. Vance frowns. We'll question him, see what he knows. But Maya, if it's not him, then who? That's the question, and Maya doesn't have an answer. They return to the hotel. Pierce is waiting along with Sarah. Well, Pierce asks. Calloway showed. We got him on tape, but he denies sending the threats. Maya sits, exhausted. Either he's lying or someone else is behind this. Sarah pulls out her laptop. I might have something. I've been digging into Pine Haven's financials, looking at who benefits if you go away. And I found a pattern. Large payments to a consulting firm, Vanguard Medical Solutions. They've been working with Pine Haven for the past 5 years, implementing cost-saving protocols. Felix leans in. Cost-saving how? By limiting high-risk procedures, reducing surgical interventions, basically teaching doctors to be more conservative. Sarah pulls up a document. Vanguard gets paid based on how much they reduce hospital liability. The less Pine Haven gets sued, the more Vanguard earns. And guess who's been their biggest success story? Calloway, Maya says. Exactly. He's their model doctor. Never sued, never lost a patient in litigation. And now, because of you, that model is collapsing. If hospitals start questioning conservative protocols, Vanguard loses everything. Hayes' eyes narrow. So Vanguard has motive to discredit Maya, to make her look dangerous. More than that, Sarah says, I found the owner of Vanguard, Dr. Marcus Draven, former surgeon. Lost his license 10 years ago after a patient died during an experimental procedure. He's been crusading against cowboy medicine ever since. Built an entire business around teaching doctors to be cautious. Maya's stomach turns. So he's the one sending the threats? I don't know, but he has the most to lose if your story changes how medicine is practiced. Sarah shows them a photo. A man in his 60s, silver hair, sharp suit, cold eyes. This is Draven, and according to his social media, he was in Austin 2 days ago. Vance takes the photo. I'll run a background check, see if we can connect him to the texts or the break-in. The investigation moves fast. Within hours, Vance calls back. We got a hit. Draven rented a car 3 days ago, a black sedan. Traffic cameras picked it up near Maya's apartment the night of the break-in. We're bringing him in. But when police go to Draven's hotel, he's gone. Checked out that morning. No forwarding address. His phone is off. His credit card's inactive. He's vanished. Maya sits in the hotel room staring at Draven's photo. He's running. That means he knows we're onto him. Or he's planning something worse, Hayes says. We need to find him fast. Vance puts out an APB, airports, bus stations, border crossings. But Draven is smart. He doesn't surface. Days pass. The police investigation stalls. Calloway is released after 48 hours. No evidence linking him to the threats. He disappears from public view, doesn't give interviews, doesn't fight back, just fades. Pine Haven General, meanwhile, hemorrhages staff. 15 doctors resign in 2 weeks. Nurses quit. Patients transfer to other hospitals. The board announces a complete overhaul of surgical protocols, citing Maya's case as a catalyst for change. It's exactly what she wanted, but it doesn't feel like victory, because Draven is still out there, and Maya knows he's not done. 2 weeks later, Pierce calls with news. We found him, or rather he found us. Draven's lawyer reached out. He wants to negotiate. Negotiate what? A settlement. He'll admit to sending the texts, pay damages, and agree to leave you alone. In exchange, you don't press charges. Maya's hands tighten around the phone. He threatened to hurt my friends. He broke into my building, and he wants to walk away? If we take this to trial, it could take years. And there's no guarantee we win. His lawyer is already arguing that the texts were just venting, not real threats, that he never intended to harm anyone. Pierce pauses. It's your call, Maya, but I think you should consider it. Maya doesn't sleep that night. She thinks about everything that's happened. The firing, the arrest, the media storm, the threats. All of it because she saved a kid's life. And now the man who tried to destroy her wants to settle, wants to buy his way out. The next morning, she calls Pierce. Set up the meeting. I'll hear what he has to say. They meet at Pierce's office. Draven sits across the conference table, flanked by two lawyers. He's smaller in person than Maya expected. Ordinary. He doesn't look like a man who terrorized her for weeks. He looks tired, defeated. His lead lawyer, a woman named Sandra Kellerman, speaks first. Dr. Thornton, my client deeply regrets his actions. He was under immense stress, facing the collapse of his business, and he lashed out inappropriately. He's prepared to offer you $1 million in damages, plus a public apology, in exchange for your agreement not to pursue criminal charges. Maya looks at Draven. He won't meet her eyes. Why? She asks. Why did you do it? Draven's jaw tightens. For a moment, she thinks he won't answer. Then he speaks, voice low. Because you represent everything I've been fighting against for 10 years. Reckless doctors who think they're above the rules. Who take risks with patients' lives and call it heroism. I built my career teaching doctors to be careful, to think before they act. And you destroyed that in one night. I saved a life. You got lucky. Draven's voice rises. What if you'd been wrong? What if that kid had died on your table? You'd be facing manslaughter charges. Your career would be over. But you gambled, and you won, and now you're a hero. And people like me, people who teach restraint, we're the villains. Maya leans forward. You're not a villain because you teach restraint. You're a villain because you tried to destroy me for proving that restraint isn't always the answer. You put my friends in danger. You terrorized me. All because you couldn't accept that maybe, just maybe, your way isn't the only way. Draven's face crumples. He looks away, blinking hard. Take the money. Sign the agreement. Let me disappear. Maya looks at Pierce. He gives a small nod. It's her choice. She could push for charges, drag this out, make Draven pay publicly. But she's tired. So tired. And she realizes something. She doesn't want revenge. She just wants it to be over. I'll take the settlement, she says, but I want the apology public. I want you to admit what you did. And I want you to shut down Vanguard Medical Solutions. No more teaching doctors to be afraid. Do Draven's lawyers confer? Kellerman nods. Agreed. The contracts are signed that afternoon. Draven releases a statement the next day, admitting to sending threatening messages and apologizing to Dr. Maya Thornton. He announces the closure of Vanguard Medical Solutions, citing personal reasons. The story makes headlines for 2 days, then fades. The media moves on. The world moves on. But Maya doesn't. She can't. Because 3 days after the settlement, she gets an email. No sender name. Just a subject line. You should see this. She opens it. Inside is a video file. She clicks play. The footage is grainy, shot from a security camera. It shows the hallway outside Calloway's office at Pine Haven. The timestamp reads 6 p.m., the night Maya was supposedly there. And on screen, clear as day, is a woman in scrubs walking up to Calloway's door. She knocks. Calloway opens it. They talk for 30 seconds. Then the woman walks away. Maya pauses the video, zooms in on the woman's face. Her blood goes cold. It's Patricia Holloway, the nurse who claimed to witness Maya assaulting Calloway, the nurse who disappeared after the payments were discovered. She's right there, staging the scene, setting Maya up. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part comes 5 seconds later when another figure enters the frame. A man. He walks up to Calloway, hands him something, an envelope, maybe cash. They shake hands. And when the man turns toward the camera, Maya's breath stops. It's Daniel Harmon, Pine Haven's CEO, the man who resigned in disgrace, the man who claimed he knew nothing about the conspiracy against her. He was part of it, from the beginning. Maya's finger hovers over the replay button. She watches the footage 3 more times, each viewing making her angrier. Harmon, the CEO who stood at press conferences looking wounded and betrayed, who claimed he knew nothing about the conspiracy, who resigned to save face. He orchestrated the whole thing, set Maya up, paid Holloway to lie, and walked away clean while Maya's life burned. She forwards the video to Pierce, Hayes, and Sarah. Then she sits back and waits. Her phone rings within 2 minutes. Pierce: "Where did you get this?" "Anonymous email, no return address. It's admissible. Metadata shows it's from Pinehaven's security system. Date and time match Holloway's testimony." Pierce's voice is tight with barely controlled rage. "This proves conspiracy. Criminal conspiracy. Harmon didn't just cover up what happened. He created it. What do we do?" "We take this to the DA. We reopen the case, and we bury him." Hayes calls next. "I'm coming over. Don't do anything until I get there." Sarah texts, "Holy shit. Publishing in 1 hour unless you tell me not to." Maya texts back, "Publish." Hayes arrives 20 minutes later with Jenna, Felix, and Alicia. They crowd into Maya's apartment. She moved back in after Draven's arrest, refused to let fear keep her away, and watch the video together. When it ends, no one speaks for a long moment. Finally, Jenna breaks the silence. "He tried to destroy you. Actually tried to put you in prison. For what? For saving a kid's life?" "For threatening the system," Felix says quietly. Maya proved that the old way, the careful, conservative, cover-your-ass way, doesn't always work. That scared people. People like Harmon who built their careers on that system. Alicia leans forward. "So what's the play? We hand this to the police and hope they do something?" "The police will act," Hayes says, "but they'll be slow. Legal process, warrants, building a case. That takes time, and in that time Harmon could run, could destroy evidence, could lawyer up so hard we never touch him." Maya stands, pacing. "Then we don't give him time. We go public first, force his hand." "Sarah's already on it," Hayes says. "But Maya, once this drops, there's no going back. Harmon will fight. He'll claim the video is fake, that you're vindictive, that this is revenge. It'll get ugly." "It's already ugly. At least this way, I'm the one swinging." Sarah's article goes live at 3 p.m. Former Pinehaven CEO orchestrated conspiracy against hero, doctor, exclusive video evidence. Within an hour, every major news outlet picks it up. The video spreads like fire. Social media explodes. Harmon's name trends worldwide. His phone number, address, even his kids' schools get posted online. Maya doesn't condone it, but she understands it. People are furious. By 5 p.m., the Austin Police Department announces they're opening a criminal investigation into Daniel Harmon for conspiracy, witness tampering, and fraud. By 6 p.m., the Texas Attorney General's office releases a statement saying they're reviewing the case for potential state-level charges. By 7 p.m., Harmon's lawyer releases a statement denying everything, calling the video manipulated, and Maya's accusations baseless. But the damage is done. Harmon's reputation is shredded. Companies he consulted for drop him. His wife files for divorce. His face is on every screen in America, and not in a good way. Maya watches it all unfold from her apartment, feeling disconnected. She thought this would feel satisfying, thought watching Harmon fall would give her closure. But it doesn't. It just feels necessary, like setting a broken bone, painful but required for healing. That night, Pierce calls with an update. "The DA wants to meet with you tomorrow. They're building a case against Harmon and possibly others at Pinehaven. They need your testimony." "I'll be there." "Maya, this is big. Federal prosecutors are looking at RICO charges, racketeering. If they can prove Pinehaven operated as a criminal enterprise, everyone involved could face decades in prison." Maya closes her eyes. Good. The meeting with the DA happens in a conference room that smells like burnt coffee and stress. Assistant District Attorney Monica Reeves sits across from Maya, flanked by 2 FBI agents. They ask questions for 3 hours. Everything. The surgery, the firing, the arrest, the threats, the settlement with Draven, and now the video. When they're done, Reeves sits back. "Dr. Thornton, I want to be straight with you. This case is going to be a media circus. Harmon's legal team is already claiming you doctored that video. They're going to paint you as vindictive, unstable, dangerous. They're going to drag your military record through the mud, find every mistake you ever made, and use it against you. Let them try. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it so you know what you're walking into. This trial could take a year, maybe longer, and during that time your life will be under a microscope. Maya meets her eyes. I've been under a microscope for months. I can handle it. Reeves nods slowly. Okay then. We move forward. The indictment comes down 2 weeks later. Daniel Harmon is charged with conspiracy to commit fraud, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and racketeering. Patricia Holloway, who fled to Mexico after the settlement, is extradited and charged as a co-conspirator. 3 other Pine Haven administrators are named in the indictment. The hospital itself faces federal investigation. Harmon pleads not guilty, claims he's being scapegoated, that Maya is a liar seeking revenge. His legal team immediately files motions to suppress the video evidence, arguing it was obtained illegally. They petition to have the case dismissed on procedural grounds. They leak stories to friendly media outlets painting Maya as obsessed, vengeful, unstable. For weeks, it feels like Maya is back where she started, defending herself, justifying her actions, watching her name get dragged through the mud. But this time, something is different. This time, she has evidence. This time, people believe her. One of those people is Judge Judith Brennan, who presides over the preliminary hearings. She's in her early 60s, known for being tough but fair. When Harmon's lawyers argue that the video is inadmissible because it was sent anonymously, Brennan listens patiently. Then she rules against them. The video's chain of custody is intact. The metadata is verified. The content is damning. The defense can challenge its authenticity at trial, but I'm not suppressing it. She looks directly at Harmon's lead attorney, a slick corporate lawyer named David Sung. Mr. Sung, if your client is innocent, prove it in court. But don't waste my time with procedural gymnastics. The ruling is a blow to Harmon's defense. Without suppressing the video, they have no real strategy. The evidence is too strong, the conspiracy too clear. But Sung doesn't give up. He pivots, files motions to delay the trial, citing the need for more time to prepare. Brennan grants a 3-month continuance. No more. During those 3 months, Maya's life becomes a strange waiting game. She can't practice medicine. Her license is still technically under review by the Texas Medical Board. She can't move forward with Frontline Medical because investors are hesitant to commit until the legal situation resolves. She's stuck in limbo, watching the calendar, waiting for her chance to finally, definitively, end this. She spends her days helping Pierce prepare for trial. They go through every document, every piece of evidence, every witness statement. Maya learns more about the legal system than she ever wanted to know. Learns that justice isn't about truth, it's about what you can prove. And proving conspiracy is hard, even with video evidence. Harmon's defense strategy becomes clear during depositions. They're not denying the video shows him with Holloway. They're claiming it's innocent, that he was discussing hospital business, that the envelope contained documents, not cash, that everything can be explained away as legitimate administrative work. It's bullshit, Pierce says one night, frustrated. But it's smart bullshit. They're creating reasonable doubt. Can they win? They can avoid prison, maybe get him off on some charges. But the conspiracy charge, the witness tampering, that's going to stick. Pierce looks at her. The question is whether the jury believes you or him, whether they see you as a hero or a troublemaker. Maya doesn't sleep well that night, or the next. The weight of it presses down, the idea that her entire vindication depends on 12 strangers deciding who's more believable. Then something breaks. One of the other administrators named in the indictment, a man named Gerald Moss who handled Pine Haven's legal affairs, flips, cuts a deal with prosecutors in exchange for testimony. And what he reveals is devastating. Moss testifies in a sealed hearing that Pierce attends. When Pierce calls Maya afterward, his voice is shaking with barely contained excitement. We got him. Moss laid out everything. Harmon knew about your surgery within an hour, called an emergency meeting with senior staff, made the decision right then to protect the hospital at all costs. He personally ordered Calloway to fire you immediately, before any positive media could build. Then he orchestrated the assault story with Holloway, paid her $50,000 to lie, and hired Draven's firm specifically to discredit you publicly. Maya's hands tremble. He said all that? He has emails, meeting notes, financial records, everything. Pierce pauses. Maya, this isn't just conspiracy anymore. This is premeditated. Harmon sat in a conference room and planned your destruction like it was a business strategy. Why? Why go that far? Because you represented an existential threat. If your story went viral, doctor breaks protocol, saves life, gets celebrated, it would undermine decades of conservative hospital policy. Malpractice insurers would panic. Hospital lawyers would revolt. Harmon's entire professional identity was built on risk management. You were the risk he couldn't manage. Maya sits down, overwhelmed. So what happens now? Harmon's lawyer is going to see this testimony. They're going to know they can't win. My guess? They'll approach us with a plea deal. Pierce is right. 2 days later, David Sung reaches out, wants to negotiate. Harmon will plead guilty to conspiracy and obstruction in exchange for 15 years instead of 30. He'll allocate, publicly admit what he did, and resign any professional certifications. The DA brings the offer to Maya. They meet in Reeves's office and she lays it out plainly. This guarantees prison time, guarantees he admits guilt, but it means no trial, no jury verdict, no catharsis of watching him get convicted. What do you recommend? Take it. Trials are unpredictable. Juries can be swayed by charisma, by sympathy. Harmon's lawyers will put you on trial instead of him. They'll bring up every risk you've taken, every moment you broke protocol, every decision that could be questioned. They'll make you defend your entire career. Reeves leans forward. This deal gives you certainty, and it gives you closure. Maya thinks about it. Part of her wants the trial, wants to stand in front of a jury and make Harmon answer for every lie, every manipulation, every moment of terror she experienced because of him. But another part, the part that's been fighting for so long, is just tired, wants it over, wants to move on. I'll take the deal. The plea hearing is scheduled for 3 weeks later. In that time, Maya tries to return to some semblance of normalcy. She meets with the Texas Medical Board, which has been reviewing her case. The board consists of 9 members, doctors, administrators, and public representatives. They've been investigating for months, trying to decide whether Maya's actions constitute grounds for disciplinary action. The hearing happens in a sterile conference room in downtown Austin. Maya sits across from the board, Pierce beside her. The chairman, a surgeon named Dr. Robert Keene, looks uncomfortable. He shuffles papers, clears his throat. Dr. Thornton, this board has completed its review of your conduct. We've examined the incident at Pine Haven General, your subsequent arrest, and the evidence that has since come to light regarding the conspiracy against you. He pauses. We find that your decision to operate without authorization was a violation of hospital protocol. However, given the circumstances, the patient's life-threatening condition, the attending physician's unavailability, and the immediate need for intervention, we conclude that your actions were medically justified. Maya's heart pounds. What does that mean? It means no disciplinary action will be taken against your medical license. You're cleared to practice medicine in the state of Texas without restriction. Keene looks directly at her. Doctor Thornton, speaking personally, what happened to you was unconscionable. You made a difficult call under impossible circumstances, and you were punished for it. This board failed you. The system failed you. And for that, I apologize. Maya's throat tightens. She nods, not trusting her voice. After the hearing, she walks out into the Austin sunshine. Hayes is waiting, leaning against his car. How'd it go? I'm cleared. I can practice again. Hayes grins. Then let's get to work. They drive to the warehouse that will become Frontline Medical. It's empty except for construction equipment and exposed wiring. But Maya can see it. Treatment rooms, an operating theater, a waiting area that doesn't feel like a prison, a place where doctors can act without fear. Felix and Alicia are already there, arguing about where to put the triage station. They stop when they see Maya. Well? Alicia asks. Medical board cleared me. We're good to go. Felix whoops. Alicia hugs her. And for the first time in months, Maya feels something close to hope. The plea hearing happens on a cold morning in November. Maya sits in the gallery, Hayes beside her, surrounded by reporters and former Pine Haven staff who've come to watch. Harmon is brought in wearing a gray suit that hangs loose on his frame. He's lost weight, aged a decade in months. His hands shake as he stands before Judge Brennan. Brennan reads the charges, asks if Harmon understands he's giving up his right to trial. Harmon nods, voice barely audible. Yes, Your Honor. And how do you plead to the charge of conspiracy to commit fraud? Guilty. Obstruction of justice? Guilty. Brennan makes notes, then looks up. Mr. Harmon, do you wish to make a statement? Harmon's lawyer whispers something, but Harmon shakes his head. He turns slightly, looks back at the gallery, finds Maya. Their eyes meet. He looks away first. I allowed my fear of litigation to cloud my judgment, he says, reading from a prepared statement. I made choices that hurt innocent people. I targeted Dr. Thornton because she represented a threat to the way I believed hospitals should operate. I was wrong. I am deeply sorry for the pain I caused. The words sound hollow, rehearsed, but Maya doesn't care about his apology. She cares about what comes next. Brennan accepts the plea. Then she delivers the sentence. Mr. Harmon, you didn't just hurt Dr. Thornton. You corrupted an institution meant to save lives. You turned a hospital into a machine designed to protect itself instead of its patients. Because of you, doctors learned to fear doing the right thing. Patients suffered. Some died. And you did all of this not because you believed it was right, but because you were afraid of being sued. She pauses, letting the words settle. That cowardice is unforgivable. I sentence you to 15 years in federal prison. No parole eligibility for 10. And I'm recommending you serve that time in a facility that allows you to see and hear the consequences of what you've done. Harmon's shoulders slump. He's led away in handcuffs, and Maya watches him go. She feels nothing, no satisfaction, no anger, just exhaustion and the faint beginning of relief. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm. Maya stops on the steps, lets them ask their questions. Dr. Thornton, how do you feel about the sentence? Do you think justice was served? What's next for you? She takes a breath. I feel relieved, not happy, relieved, because this was never about revenge. It was about accountability, about making sure what happened to me doesn't happen to other doctors, and about changing a system that punishes people for doing the right thing. She pauses. As for what's next, I'm going back to medicine. I'm going to build something better. A reporter shouts, What about Dr. Calloway? Will you go after him next? Maya shakes her head. Calloway was a symptom, not the disease. He made bad choices because the system rewarded him for it. My fight isn't with individual doctors. It's with the culture that created them. Another reporter. Do you have a message for young doctors watching this? Maya looks directly into the cameras. Don't let fear make your decisions. Don't let protocol replace judgment. And when you know what the right thing is, when a patient's life is on the line, do it. The system will push back. It'll try to punish you. But if you stand your ground, if you refuse to back down, the system will break before you do. The press conference ends. Maya walks to Hayes' car and they drive away. No celebration, no fanfare, just quiet. That night, Maya sits in her apartment with her core team, Hayes, Jenna, Felix, Alicia, and Sarah. They order pizza, open beer, and finally allow themselves to breathe. The case is over. Harmon is in prison. Maya's license is restored. Frontline Medical is weeks away from opening. I still can't believe we pulled this off, Felix says, shaking his head. 6 months ago, you were facing prison. Now you're about to open your own clinic. We pulled it off, Maya corrects. I couldn't have done this alone. Jenna raises her beer, to not doing things alone. They drink. Then Sarah pulls out her laptop. Okay, so I've been tracking something. Since the sentencing, there's been a surge in whistleblower complaints filed with medical boards across the country. Doctors reporting hospital policies that prioritize liability over patient care. Nurses documenting cases where patients were harmed because physicians were too scared to act. Alicia leans in. How many complaints? Over 300, in 6 states, all citing your case as inspiration. Sarah looks at Maya. You started a movement. People are fighting back. Maya doesn't know what to say. She never wanted to be a symbol, never wanted to be the face of anything. She just wanted to save lives. But if her story helps others do the same, then maybe all of it was worth it. 3 months later, Frontline Medical opens its doors. It's not a hospital, not yet. It's a clinic. Small. 12 beds. located in a converted warehouse in East Austin. But it's theirs. Maya, Felix, Alicia, and 4 other doctors who left Pine Haven or other hospitals where they felt stifled. They operate on a different model, faster triage, more autonomy. Doctors empowered to make decisions without waiting for layers of administrative approval. Protocols designed around patients, not lawsuits. The first patient is a construction worker with a punctured lung. He comes in gasping, blood bubbling at his lips. Maya assesses him in 30 seconds, makes the call, and operates immediately. No waiting, no authorization, just action. He survives. Walks out 2 days later with his wife crying in relief and his kids clinging to his legs. Word spreads. Other patients come, people who've been failed by conservative hospital systems, people who need doctors willing to take risks. Within 6 months, Frontline is operating at capacity. Within a year, they're expanding, opening a second location in Houston, then Dallas, then San Antonio. The medical community watches. Some doctors call Maya reckless, dangerous, a lawsuit waiting to happen. But others see something different. They see a model that works. They see patients surviving because doctors acted instead of hesitating. And slowly, quietly, the conversation begins to shift. Medical schools start teaching her case, not as a cautionary tale, but as a case study in ethical decision-making under pressure. Some call it the Thornton principle. When protocol conflicts with immediate patient need and the physician has the skill and judgment to intervene, intervention is justified. It's not universally accepted. Plenty of institutions still teach conservative care, but the fact that it's even being discussed, that young doctors are being told they have permission to trust their judgment, that's progress. 2 years after the sentencing, Maya receives an invitation. The American College of Surgeons wants her to speak at their annual conference in Chicago. The topic: balancing protocol and patient care in emergency medicine. She almost declines. She's not interested in being a symbol or a keynote speaker, but Hayes convinces her. "You've already changed things in Texas," he says. "Now change them everywhere." The conference is massive, 3,000 surgeons from across the country. Maya stands backstage, heart pounding, wondering what the hell she's doing here. Then she hears her introduction, the applause. She walks out onto the stage and the noise is deafening. She talks for 40 minutes, tells her story. Not the sanitized version, the real one. The fear, the doubt. The night she thought she'd made a terrible mistake. The moment she realized she'd do it all again. She talks about the cost of caution, about patients who die while doctors wait for permission, about a system that needs to change. "I'm not saying abandon protocol," she says near the end. "I'm saying remember why protocols exist. They exist to help us save lives. But when they prevent us from saving lives, we have to be brave enough to ask why, and we have to be willing to act." When she finishes, the room is silent. Then someone stands. Then another. Then the entire audience is on their feet, applauding. Maya stands there, overwhelmed, and realizes something. This is what her father would have wanted. Not for her to be perfect. Not for her to follow rules. But for her to fight for what's right, no matter the cost. After the speech, dozens of doctors approach her. Young residents, experienced attendings, all with the same question. How do we do what you did? How do we stand up to institutions that prioritize liability over lives? Maya doesn't have a perfect answer, but she has an honest one. You start small. You make the right call, even when it scares you. You save the patient in front of you, and you deal with the consequences later. And when the system pushes back, because it will, you don't back down. You fight, you gather allies, you build something better. One young resident, a woman who can't be older than 26, stays after the others leave. "Dr. Thornton, I have a question. What if we're wrong? What if we make the call and the patient dies?" Maya looks at her, really looks at her, sees herself 4 years ago. Then you live with it, you learn from it, and you keep going. Because the alternative, doing nothing, that's worse. That's the death you can't come back from. The resident nods, eyes wet. "Thank you." 6 months later, that same resident reaches out. She's working at a hospital in Boston. She made a call. Operated on a patient with an abdominal bleed without waiting for the attending. The patient survived. The hospital reprimanded her. Suspended her for 2 weeks without pay. But she doesn't regret it, and she's not backing down. She's documenting everything, talking to a lawyer, and she's asking Maya for advice. Maya reads the email and smiles. It's spreading, slowly, imperfectly. But it's spreading. Frontline Medical continues to grow. By year 3, they have 6 locations across Texas. By year 5, they've expanded to Arizona, New Mexico, and Louisiana. The model isn't perfect. They face lawsuits, 3 in the first 2 years, all settled before trial. They still lose patients, but they save more than they lose, and their outcomes rival the best trauma centers in the country. Medical journals start publishing studies on the Frontline model. The results are compelling: faster time to intervention, higher survival rates in critical cases, and surprisingly, lower malpractice costs. It turns out that when doctors are empowered to act decisively, they make better decisions. And when patients survive, they don't sue. The model attracts attention from hospital systems nationwide. Some adopt modified versions of Frontline's protocols. Others dismiss it as too risky, too radical. But the conversation is happening. That's what matters. Dr. Leonard Calloway resurfaces briefly. He's working at a small clinic in rural Montana, far from the spotlight. He sends Maya a letter through an intermediary. Wants to apologize. Wants to explain that he was just following orders, that he was as much a victim of the system as she was. Maya reads the letter once, then burns it. She doesn't need his apology. She's moved on. Patricia Holloway serves 3 years in federal prison for conspiracy and perjury. When she's released, she gives an interview to a local news station. Claims she was coerced, that Harmon threatened her job if she didn't cooperate, that she regrets everything. Maya watches the interview. Holloway looks smaller, older, defeated. Part of Maya feels pity, but most of her feels nothing. Holloway made her choices. Now she lives with them. Marcus Draven, after shutting down Vanguard Medical Solutions, writes a book. It's called The Danger of Certainty: Why Medicine Needs Humility. In it, he admits he was wrong, that his crusade against cowboy medicine went too far, that doctors need both caution and courage. The book becomes a bestseller in medical circles. Maya reads it once, finds it self-serving but not entirely dishonest. Draven doesn't mention her by name, but the entire text is clearly a response to her case. She doesn't comment publicly, doesn't need to. The book is its own kind of admission. Commander Richard Hayes retires from the Navy and joins Frontline Medical as Director of Operations. He's good at it, keeps things running while Maya focuses on medicine. They work well together. Sometimes late at night after a long shift, they sit in the empty clinic and talk about the war, about medicine, about how strange it is that they both found purpose in chaos. You ever regret it? Hayes asks one night. Everything that happened? Maya considers. No. I regret how hard it was. I regret the people who got hurt, but I don't regret the choice. I'd make it again. Even knowing what it cost? Especially knowing what it cost, because now I know what I'm capable of. And I know the system can change. It's slow, it's messy, but it changes. Hayes nods. Your dad would be proud. Yeah, Maya says quietly. I think he would. 5 years after the sentencing, Maya receives a letter. It's from the mother of the 19-year-old kid, the motorcycle accident victim whose name she never knew, the one whose life Maya saved, the one that started everything. Dear Dr. Thornton, I don't know if you remember my son, Daniel. You saved his life 5 years ago when he crashed his bike. The hospital fired you for it. I followed your story ever since, watched you fight, watched you win, watched you build something beautiful. Daniel graduated from college last month. He's in medical school now at UT Southwestern. Wants to be a trauma surgeon. Says he wants to be like you, someone who doesn't wait for permission to save lives. I wanted you to know that. Wanted you to know that because of you, my son is alive. And because of your example, he's going to save other people's sons and daughters. Thank you for everything. Margaret Rivers. Maya reads the letter 3 times. Then she folds it carefully and puts it in her desk drawer. Some nights, when the work feels overwhelming, when the lawsuits pile up, when she questions whether any of this matters, she takes it out and reads it again. And it reminds her why she does this. Not for recognition, not for redemption, but because someone has to. Because patients deserve doctors who act. Because the system won't change unless someone forces it to change. 7 years after the sentencing, Frontline Medical operates 15 clinics across 6 states. They've treated over 50,000 patients. Medical schools send residents to train in their system. Insurance companies, initially hostile, have started offering better rates to facilities that adopt frontline-style protocols. Maya still works the ER, still takes night shifts, still gets her hands dirty. She's the head of the organization, but she refuses to become an administrator who's forgotten what it means to practice medicine. She operates, she saves lives, and sometimes she loses patients. When that happens, she grieves, sits with the family, explains what went wrong, takes responsibility. Then she goes back to work. Because that's what doctors do. They keep going. On a Tuesday in March, 8 years after everything began, Maya finishes a shift and walks out to her car. The sun is setting over Austin, painting the sky orange and purple. She's exhausted. Her feet hurt. She has 3 meetings tomorrow, a board review at the end of the week, and a conference call with investors interested in expanding Frontline to the Pacific Northwest. But she's happy, really, genuinely happy, not because everything is perfect. It's not. It's messy and hard, and sometimes she wants to quit. But she's doing work that matters, building something that saves lives. And she's surrounded by people who believe in the same thing she does. Her phone buzzes. A text from Jenna, who now runs the nursing program at Frontline. New resident started today? Reminds me of you. Eager, fearless, probably going to break some rules. Maya smiles. She texts back, "Good, we need more of those." She gets in her car and drives home. As she pulls onto the highway, she thinks about the past 8 years, the pain, the fear, the victories, the losses, all of it. And she realizes something. She wouldn't change any of it, because she's not the doctor who got fired anymore. She's not the woman who was arrested or threatened or dragged through the media. She's Dr. Maya Thornton, founder of Frontline Medical. The doctor who proved that courage matters more than caution, that patients come before protocols, that doing the right thing is worth the cost. And she's just getting started. Somewhere across the country, a young doctor stands in an ER, faced with an impossible choice. A patient is dying. Protocol says wait. Instinct says act. The doctor hesitates, then thinks of Maya's story, of the choice she made, of the price she paid and the lives she saved. The doctor makes the cut. The patient survives. And the system is forced to answer for it. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear scrubs. Some have trembling hands and doubts that never quite go away. Some make mistakes and carry regrets and wonder if they're doing enough. But the bravest ones don't wait for permission to do what's right. They just do it. And the world changes, one life at a time, one surgery at a time, one decision at a time. Maya parks in her driveway, sits in the quiet car for a moment. Tomorrow, she'll do it all again. Save lives, fight systems, build something better. But tonight she allows herself this: peace, pride. The knowledge that she took the hardest path and came out the other side. She gets out of the car and walks toward her front door. The porch light is on. Inside there's dinner waiting, leftovers from last night, nothing fancy. There's paperwork to review, emails to answer, a life that's ordinary and extraordinary all at once. And that's exactly how she wants it. Because Maya Thornton isn't a symbol. She's not a hero. She's just a doctor who refused to let fear win. And sometimes that's all it takes to change the world.